Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back. I'm Jeannie and I'm doing something different because I normally don't show my face on this channel. That is quite intentional. However, I just got my largest haul from Sweetie Nail Supply and it wouldn't fit in my normal frame of my filming. So I had to show you this way for my intro because just look at this box for perspective, how it is compared to the size of me. This is massive and I am shook. So this is from their anniversary sale that they just recently had. And this is my first order. I may have placed just a small second order. I didn't go too overboard, but this one I am super excited about. I only film on my phone, so once we get to the actual unboxing, I'm going to have to switch over to my normal top-down view, but I want to just show you for perspective just how large this haul is. And I'm not even sorry because I am super excited. So I'm just going to remove everything, open everything up because I won't be able to show you in frame of the video. I will put everything on the table and then we'll do some unboxing. We'll do some swatching. We'll do a mani. We'll do it all. So it will probably be a longer video just because there are a lot of amazing things in here. So get comfortable, grab a drink or a snack. We'll jump into it. If you only want to watch the unboxing, or if you only want to watch the mani, whatever you want to do, I'll leave chapters so that you can skip to see whatever you want. But of course, I would love it if you would just hang out with me and watch it all. But whatever you have time for. But let's go ahead and dive into it because I cannot wait to break into this box. Okay, I have everything unboxed. So here's everything that I bought from my Sweetie Nail Supply anniversary haul, order number one. It still barely fits in the frame, but I think we got it. So I'll just quickly show you what I have here and then I'll move everything off to the side and we'll do swatches. So it'll be fine. So I'm going to show you, probably start with the individuals first. So I did pick up one more chrome. So this is the Barbie Pink Chrome from Nail Bio. I really love their pearl chrome that I used, I believe, in my birthday set. So I wanted to pick up another chrome. There are a bunch of other chromes that I had been eyeing that I wanted to pick up with this sale, but because of the tariffs, there were a lot of brands that had the chromes that I wanted that are now like Canada available only because of the tariffs. So unfortunately, I couldn't grab those chromes, but I was excited to pick up this chrome because I have used the Nail Bio ones before and I thought they performed really well. So I've got this one chrome here. And then speaking of Nail Bio, you probably know that I love these Joy Nudie gels. So I wanted to pick up even more colors, although, this is tame because there are more colors that I wanted to use. So I got the Nudie White. This is the Nudie Peach, Nudie Misty Blue, and then Nudie Blush Pink. I love these Nudie gels. They're really great syrup gels. They apply so beautifully. They self-level. They're just really great for that little hint of color. I love these gels. And I think they all are HEMA-free. Although this peach one, it just may be old packaging because it's got the name on the bottom, not on the bottle, whereas these have, the HEMA-free and then the name on the front of the bottle. So it may just be old packaging because I would think they're all the same. I'm not sure. So I've got these four, which I'm super excited about. And then as far as the collections that I picked up, I have the Rosy Hip. This is the Rosé collection. I haven't seen a lot about it, but when I saw it on the website, oh my gosh, I was super excited because if I'm remembering correctly, it had like glitter gels in here and it also had what looked like liquid chromes. Like they looked similar to the Après silk cover. Is that like the liquid chromes that they recently released? I did a video on that. I'll leave that up above in the cards if you want to check that one out if you haven't seen it. But it looked like it had maybe some like, I don't know if they're gels, but it looked like liquid type chromes in there. So this collection looked really beautiful. So I wanted to pick up this collection. And I have the Rosy Hip Gemstone collection, and that was a really good one. So I do really like this brand. So I picked up that. I'm going to put that off to the side. I got this is the Vala Cotton Pastel collection. These look like really great pastel colors. They look like they have a good opacity to them. I haven't tried anything from Vala. This is my first collection, or actually first gel at all from Vala. You can see the brand right here. So I'm excited to try that, see what they're all about. Not that I need another brand to be obsessed with, but I'm really excited about this collection because I think pastels are really great for springtime, summertime. So I think I can get a lot of use out of these in the next couple of months. And then I love Divock, so I did actually pick up two Divock collections. I always love their packaging, and just I have had nothing but good experience with Divock. So I've been seeing this one. This is the Once in a Summer Volume 2 or Season 2 collection, and I loved the way it looked. Like, I've been seeing people unboxing these and swatching them, and this collection looks so gorgeous. So I had to have this collection. So I'm super excited to break into this and see what this one is all about, just because it looks so, so pretty. And then the last thing I picked up is the Divock Marble Fit. This is a marble art ink collection, and this looks super cool. So I can't wait to get into this too. I'm not going to break into the box just, uh-oh. Oh, it looks like my box is a little scratched up. Oh, that's okay. Anyway, where was I? I'm getting sidetracked. But yeah, I really love like the marble inks. I think they create like really cool looks. And what I really loved about this collection is the bottles had like liner brushes in them instead of like your standard regular brushes. So it looked like it's easier to do like more of like that line work with the marble inks. So I'm really excited to try this one out as well. So I'm going to probably do the individual swatching, the individual colors first, swatching as well as the chrome, and then I'll start swatching out the collections, and then we'll do a set together using something in here. It's going to be hard to decide, but let's switch to swatching mode. I went ahead and prepared my swatch gems off camera just to save a little bit of time. So we're jumping straight into the swatching, starting with the 4 Doi Nudie gels. This color I'm swatching is Nudie White, which is a syrup white, meaning it's a milky white color. So you can just see that like slight wash of white. These level super quickly, so there's never any streaking. Next, I'm going to be swatching Nudie Peach. So you'll see as I'm swatching, these are sheer colors. So this is a syrup peach color, and depending on like your skin tone and your undertones, this may be a really good base color for you, whether you're doing like a French manicure or if you just need a sheer base for some nail art. This is a really beautiful color, and I think it will go with like a lot of different skin tones. By the way, I should mention I am curing these swatches in between, but it's off camera. Next, I'm going to be swatching Nudie Blush Pink. Now, this color I really like. So Nudie Pink is my favorite base color for my skin tone, but I like this blush pink because it's a little bit tan mixed in with the pink. So it is still pinkish, it's still sheer, but it's just got a little bit more deepness to it. So depending on your skin tone, you may like that. And then the last nudie color, this is Nudie Misty Blue. This one is like a syrup blue, but you see that gray undertone in there. So it's very smoky, very beautiful. After my swatches are fully cured, I went ahead and applied sticky tabs to the underside of them. I'm just going to go ahead and attach them to the caps of my bottles. The bottles do have the color on the sides of them, so you can see that color ombre. But when they're sitting in my drawers, I look at them top down, and sometimes the drawers are so full that I don't actually see the bottle. I only see the tops of the bottles. So this makes it easier for me to identify colors when I'm quickly looking for a color rather than having to like pull up every bottle and see what color it is. This just makes it a little bit easier, so I like to apply them on top. For my chrome, I'm not going to apply a base coat just because I want to see the chrome all by itself. So I am using my Doi Basics No Wipe Gel Top Coat. I'm applying that to my swatch gem, and then I'm going to flash cure it for about 15 seconds. I don't want to over cure it because then the chrome won't stick to it. So after I flash cured it, I like to tap the top of the chrome powder just because if there's any chrome at the top or on the sides, I want to make sure that I'm bringing it back down to the bottom because I don't want to spill it when I'm opening it up because chrome powder is very valuable and I don't want to lose any of it. So I'm just taking the eyeshadow applicator that came with the chrome powder And I'm just picking up a little bit of that powder. A little bit goes a long way. And then I'm going to rub that into my top coat that's flash cured. So you can see just like that, it applies so evenly, so smoothly, and it is such a beautiful chrome color. Like, I am excited to see it over other colors, but I think even without a base color, it's just like that sheer wash of like that pink chrome. Very beautiful. So I went ahead and fully cured that for 60 seconds because it was only flash cured at this point. And I'm just going to apply that little swatch gem to the cap just so I can quickly see that chrome color. Now that I finished with the individuals, we're going to go ahead and take a look at these collections, starting with the Vala Kachin Pastel collection. I'm really excited about this collection because most of the Korean gel polishes that I get from like Sweetie Nail Supply and Zillabue, most of them are like syrup gels or cat eye gels. I don't have a lot of solid creme polishes. I think I maybe have like one collection of solid cremes and then a couple individuals from like brands, but I haven't had like a whole collection, and this one is so beautiful. I love the pastel colors. When it first came out, I saw a lot of people doing swatching of it, and I did look for it, but it was sold out by the time I looked for it. So I don't know at what point it restocked, but luckily, when I was doing my shopping for the anniversary sale, I saw that was in stock. So I had to grab it immediately because I was super excited for this collection. Whenever I can, I like to buy full collections because I always love how they come with their own cute little swatch cards that are kind of themed with the gels. And then taking a quick look at the gels, it's funny I pulled this one out because I either didn't remember or didn't know, but it comes with this matte glitter polish that I just think is so cute. And I think it's like on theme for all these colors. But anyway, I'm not going to talk through the swatching. I'm going to let you watch me swatch, and then I'll hop back on. Did you see just how opaque and smooth these pastels were? They were so easy to use and they weren't chalky at all. This is why I love to watch swatching. Speaking of swatching, I'm going to get into my next collection. So this is the Rosy Hip Rosé collection. I don't know if this is an older collection or not, but I don't know why people aren't talking about this. It has such variety because it's not just straight gel polishes. And if you're a rose gold lover, oh my gosh, you need this in your life. I think I might have seen that they have a silver version of this as well, and I kind of really want it after doing this. So I am now a huge fan of Rosy Hip after the Gemstone collection and this. I think their quality is amazing. So it's got this really beautiful swatch card that comes with it. And then you'll see here, there are 3 gels. So I'm just going to show you one of the gels and then we'll get into swatching after I show you like one of each. So there's 3 gels in this collection. So this is a glittery rose gold color. It's really beautiful. It's like a finer glitter in there. And then I misspoke. This isn't like a chrome liquid. This is more of like a metallic ink, like a metallic alcohol ink. So I'm just shaking it really well. So there's 3 of these metallic alcohol inks in there. Well, no, actually there's 2. And then there's one that's a glitter ink, which is amazing. And then there's also 2 of these pots, which are like pudding gels. I'm not sure what they call them, but they're like pudding gels to me, so they're thicker gels. So this one is a metallic rose gold. So I love the variety you get in here because it's a little bit of everything. I thought with the cardboard swatch card and the style of it, it would look really nice to swatch directly on the card rather than using swatch gems. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm starting with RG02, which is a fine rose gold glitter. It has really fine glitter pieces in it. And the next one is RG03. So this is a lighter rose gold color. It's more pink. And looking at the glitter pieces, they're just a little bit larger than RG02, but it's not super chunky at all. It just has a little bit of bigger pieces mixed throughout, maybe like more of a gold or champagne-ish gold color. The next one, the last gel, is RM02. So instead of being a glitter, this is more of a metallic finish. So I love that these 3 gels are all different finishes, they're different colors, so they're different enough to justify having all 3 of them just because they all create like different looks to them. And then going into the metallic inks, because they are inks, you need to shake them up really well to reincorporate those pigments. So this first one is R105. So this is, you can really see, especially against the cardboard, you can really see that silver that gives it like that metallicness to it. So it's like a lighter pink with that silver metallic to it. The next one is R106. So it's harder to tell on the cardboard, but this is a little bit of a darker pink, but you can really see that metallic of the silver in it as well. But the colors are definitely different. And I think if you do it on a nail rather than cardboard, it would look different. And this one surprised me. This is R107. So this is actually glitters. Like, I don't know if they're flakies or glitters, but I was not expecting that. So I wasn't sure. Like, I have to research a little bit more on the best way to apply it because it was thin. So I thought maybe if I kind of drain some of that liquid, maybe I would get more of the glitter. So I don't know the best way to do it yet, but it's so unique. I haven't seen this before where it's like glitters. I don't know if it's like alcohol or whatever the liquid is, but there's like glitter suspended in there. So it's really just a clear liquid and then the glitter. So it's really cool, really unique. But then going ahead, finishing off with these pudding gels, you do need a separate gel brush. So this is our, I think this one is RGJ02. So it was a metallic rose gold. And this one is RYJ02. So this is a metallic rose gold with glitter. So the variety in here, seriously, amazing. Just look at how beautiful these colors are. Like I said, I don't know why people aren't talking about this, but I have to keep moving because this video is long. So now we're jumping into the Divac Once in a Summer Season 2 collection. I've been seeing this a lot lately and I had to have it. It just looked so beautiful. It has cat eyes in there and just like these beautiful glitters. And then there are some syrup colors. I just loved the variety. I think these colors will be really good for like springtime and summertime. So I thought it was like a really versatile collection, which kind of justified buying it. And then for the swatch card, it's not just a swatch card, it's a card that comes in acrylic holder. So it's got that acrylic casing to the card. Yeah, once in the summer season too. So look at how beautiful this is. And then it actually has a stand for it so you can display it. So I actually struggled with this stand getting it in. So I did it off camera because it ended up taking me like almost 10 minutes to figure out. So I'll say this, if you get this collection and you're struggling with it, like the opening of the stand you can see is at the top. So I actually ended up taking the card out and flipping it upside down. And that way the opening was on the bottom. And that made it slide into the stand because I could not get it to fit into the stand the other way. So there is a plastic film on this acrylic stand. So I'm going to go ahead and peel it off to make it clear. And this was so satisfying. Let me know down below in the comments if you love peeling off that protective seal. It's just like there's something about it. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead, start the swatching. This one I'm just going to let you watch without me gabbing on. Isn't this collection just so dreamy? I ended up doing 2 total layers for these swatches, and I tested all of them with magnets because I don't know how to tell which one is a magnetic gel and which isn't, but the top 2 on the left are the only 2 magnetic gels in this collection. But moving on to the last and final collection, this is probably the one I was most excited about. I did misspeak about this though, because this is a Divac Marble Fit collection, and this isn't a marble ink collection. These are actually marble gels. But in true Divac fashion, the packaging, the attention to details is just truly gorgeous. I was trying really hard not to tear the sticker because even the sticker is beautiful. I did end up tearing it a little bit, but it's just a sticker. It shouldn't be a big deal. I just wanted to preserve it because it was just so pretty. But I was super excited to break into this collection and finally get my hands on it. So at the top, there's the beautiful swatch card. So it kind of fits with the whole theme. Like you saw, like it has that same like marble look that the sticker does. So I'm excited to do some swatching. At the top of the collection, this is one separate gel because this isn't a marble gel. So this is the Marble Fit gel. So I think it's sort of like a blooming gel. So this is what you use as your base for these Marble Fit gels. So I'm just going to quickly take a look at this just to make sure that that's what it is and kind of look at the consistency of it. So it is sealed in this box. So I just want to cut it to open it up to take a look at the gel in here. So I just love the details. Like, look at how beautiful this bottle is with the ombre. It's just so, so pretty. And so just taking a look at it, it just has like a regular gel polish brush and it's a clear gel. So that's why I say it's kind of like probably a blooming gel type gel. And then looking at the Marble Fit gels, these bottles are so beautiful. I shook it because at that point I thought it was an ink, but looking at it, see, it's got that small short liner brush to make it easier to do like that smoky marbly type look. So I'm really excited to get into these colors. So let's go ahead and get into the swatching. In reading the directions for this collection, you're supposed to apply a layer of the Marble Fit gel and not cure it. So you're going to leave it wet. And then once you have that layer of the Marble Fit gel on, you're going to go in with your marble color and you're going to apply that in whatever design you want, whether it's one color, multiple colors. You can do, you can do anything you want of however you want it to look. And then it's going to start spreading, making that design. And then once you're happy with the design you want, in order to get it to stop spreading, you need to cure it. So that's what I'm going to do for these swatch gems. I'm going ahead and applying a layer of the Marble Fit gel to all the gems. I'm going to apply the color to them one by one. And then when I'm happy with that design, I'm just going to flash cure it and then move on to the next color, flash cure, and so on. And then once I'm done with all the swatches, I will give them a full cure together for a full 60 seconds. This is hands down the easiest and prettiest marbles I have ever done. I've done marbling before with regular blooming gels and gels, and they never look like this. I don't know what kind of magic is in this collection or what makes it different, but I could not stop staring at these swatches because I love the way they turned out. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and jump into this set because I am super excited. Of course, I will be using two of the Marble Fit gels. I pulled out one of the glitters from the Once in a Summertime collection. I'm going to use some Doi Nudie gel. So I want to use some of the new products that I got. And then I'm going to pull in some old colors that I have as well to complete this set. So I'm super excited. This is going to be a 3D beach themed set. I'm going to do these as press-ons. So I have my tips already sized out and on the stand ready to go. But of course, when I start press-ons, I always like to start with a layer of gel base first. So you know this is my favorite. I have my Doi Basics Gel Base Coat. I'm just going to apply a thin, even layer of this to all the tips. I don't want too much gel, so you'll see I don't even dip my brush back into the bottle. I just use whatever's on my brush to do all 5 tips. So I'm just making sure that it's even, that there aren't any lumps or bumps. And then once I have the gel base on all the tips, I'm going to go ahead and cure it for a full 60 seconds. Now these tips that I'm using, these are the Goi, I don't know how you pronounce it, off of Amazon. So they are matte, but I like to apply a layer of gel base just because I feel like it makes the gel polish apply more smoother and evenly. So that's why I like to start with the gel base first before I do any gel polish set on press-ons. I'm going to be starting my set by doing all my base colors on all the nails first before I get into each individual nail and their nail art. So starting with my thumb and pinky, they are going to get 2 total layers of the Doi Nudie White. And I have to say, this is probably my favorite milky white yet. I don't use milky whites often just because they can be frustrating, because they can look very streaky, they can be difficult to use to get to look even. I hate when they look streaky, but this Doi Milky White, let me tell you, it self levels quickly and so even. Like you don't see any streakiness, you don't see any unevenness of the color. It's just so beautiful. It's just like that slight wash of white, and I just love it so much. So I definitely will be using this again. This is now like my new go-to milky white color. So after I get my first layer on, I'm going to cure it for a full 60 seconds. And then after that, I'm going to go in with layer 2. I wanted to build it up a little bit more. I still wanted it to be sheer, which is why I use this color, but I wanted to build it up just a little bit more because this is going to end up being my base for the Nail Bio Barbie Pink Chrome, just because I wanted a little hint of color underneath it, but I didn't want a color. So I thought this one would be perfect. So you can see with 2 layers, it's still like that really great wash of white without being too opaque. So this is a really beautiful color. So I'm slowly trying to build up my nudie collection. I probably have like 10 or so colors, and every time I order, I just add a couple more just so I can slowly build up my collection, just because these are staples for me to use. Next, for my index finger and ring finger, it's going to be a base of the Doi Nudie Blush Pink. And I love this one because it's a little bit deeper than my normal. So normally for my perfect base color, I like the Doi Nudie Pink color. This one is a little bit deeper, so you can see that little bit of brown, little bit of deepness in it. And I think it's a really beautiful base color. It's not too deep because it's sheer, and then you'll see when I put a matte top coat on it for the look that I'm going for with this, that it actually kind of lightens it up. So I only really need 1 layer of this. So I'm just going to do 1 layer on the index finger and ring finger, and then I'll cure that for a full 60 seconds. These 2 fingers are going to have the beach themed 3D nail art, which is why I didn't want to go too crazy with a base color. But because they are press-ons and I apply them with sticky tabs, I wanted something to camouflage it a little bit, because if I left them clear, sometimes you can see like that sticky tab underneath, but the base color really helps with that. It just gives like a little bit of color, and it has like a little bit of a blurring effect. The last base color I'm going to be using is DM20. This is from the Divac Once in a Summer Season 2 collection, and it's going to go on my middle finger. I really wanted to bring in glitter into this set because my other fingers as the base are just the sheer solid colors. So I wanted something to make the set pop a little bit more. and I really love this color. I feel like it gave me just like a neutral mermaidy type vibe because it's got a light blue base and it has the pink shimmer running throughout it. So I love the way it kind of tied the set together and gave it a little bit of more of a pop, although I feel like the 3D nail art will help as well. But this one is actually a cat eye gel, but I don't end up magnetizing it just because I loved it as is. But it is sheerer, so I do build it up. So I'm gonna do end up doing 3 total layers of this. It's still gonna be a little sheerer, but I like the way it looks, and it has just a little bit more opacity with the 3 total layers that I end up doing. But really, this one can play tricks on you because you'll see as I'm doing the third layer, it does still look a little bit sheer. So you can still sort of see that nail stand underneath it. But when I'm actually wearing this set, it looks opaque. So you don't see my natural nail line underneath this set. So it really just depends on the lighting and the angle that you're looking at this because sometimes it looks opaque, sometimes it looks a little bit sheer. So it's very versatile, but I went ahead and gave that a full cure for 60 seconds. So now all my base colors are done. So here's how the nail set's looking. So now we're going to get into the really fun part of the nail art. So for my index finger, I'm going to be doing the 3D seashell nail art, which I have done 3D seashell kind of design before, but I haven't done it this way before because I want to use some of the Marble Fit gels for this because I've seen other people do it with some gel colors and I really love the way it looks, but I want to use the Marble Fit gels. So I'm starting with my Marble Fit base and I'm applying a thin layer of that to the entire nail. I'm not going to cure it. And then I'm going to use these 2 gels. So I'm going to use number 01 and 07. So this is the white and then the tan color. I am going to kind of mix them a little bit. So I do need a lint-free wipe because I don't want to contaminate the colors in the bottle. So I just want to make sure that I can wipe off my brush. So I'm starting with a tan color and I'm just kind of swiping it across the nail in little lines. And this is definitely a trust the process. So it's going to bloom on the Marble Fit base, but I'm just going to swipe that tan. And then I'm going to take the white and then I'm going to swipe the white just underneath it, a little bit over it. So they're going to overlap and kind of blend together. I don't want that tan. So I'm just wiping off my brush to make sure I don't get that tan in the bottle of white. I'm going back in with the tan just to kind of blend it a little bit more. And I really love the way this looks. I've seen people do it with other colors as well. And so I feel like just having that blended color underneath really gives it more of that realistic shell look. So I'm just kind of letting it bloom a little bit, perfecting it to how I want it. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to go ahead and cure it for a full 60 seconds. So now that it's cured, I'm happy with the way that looks. I wanted the 3D art to pop a little bit more because I'm going to be using a glossy top coat for that 3D look. So in order to make it pop a little bit more, I want to put it on a matte base. So I'm using my Divac Zero matte top coat. I've used this a lot lately. It's my new favorite matte top coat to use just because it doesn't get streaky on me. It levels really quickly, really easily, but I do want to make sure that I don't have any lumps or bumps because the matte top coat will show off any imperfections. I went ahead and cured for a full 60 seconds and I'm really loving the way this design is looking matte, but I'm not going to leave it as is. I'll be using my Gin Bee Crazy Top Coat. This is the thick formula, and this is what I'm going to be using to do my 3D seashell design. I really love using the Gin Bee Crazy Top Coat for 3D nail art. I've used it a lot. It will eventually level, but it is thicker, so it's going to take a while to level, which is why it's easy to use for the 3D look. But I do have my flash cure lamp off to the side because as I get the design the way I want it, I'm going to flash cure it as I do the rest of the design. So I'm just picking up a healthy dollop of that crazy top coat on my liner brush. I want to make sure I have plenty of gel. And then once I have that, I'm going to start at the center free edge of my nail. And I want to start with a circle. So I'm going to draw a dot and then in circular motions with my liner brush, I'm just going to slowly make sure that I've got the shape that I want, that it's the size that I want. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to take that gel and I'm going to draw a line up towards the cuticle area. I'm not going to go all the way to the cuticle area, just close to it. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to go ahead and just flash cure it for a few seconds so it doesn't move on me. The center line isn't exactly center, but I just left it as is because sometimes I feel like the imperfections is what makes a set beautiful. So I left it a little off center. And then to each side of my center line, that's kind of like my guiding line. I'm going to do two more lines the same way. So I'm starting with that dot and then in circular motions with my liner brush, I'm going to make it a little bit larger, get that shape the way I want it. And then I'm going to draw a line up towards the cuticle area, kind of stopping at the same length that I stopped with my center line. I don't draw straight up though. I do kind of slant it towards the center line. So it's a little bit more tapered. So I'll do one more line on that side, and then I'll do two lines the similar way on the other side of the nail. And then once I have all my lines on, I'm going to go ahead and give them a full cure for 60 seconds. I think this might be my best seashell yet, but I don't want to stop here. I want to apply just a little bit of gems at the cuticle area to tie those lines together. So I've been hearing really amazing things about this Make End Parts gel. So I wanted to try it because people swear by it for gem placement. So I picked up a jar from Zillabue, and luckily they have two sizes. So I picked up the smaller jar just because I don't do a lot of gems, and a little bit goes a long way. So this jar will probably last me forever. So I'm really excited to try it and see how it works for the gems. I only need a little bit. So I'm just taking my orange wood stick and I'm picking up a small dollop of this. And right off the bat, the thing I notice about this Make End Parts gel is it is less stringy. So sometimes I will use my Gin Bee Crazy Top Coat, the thick formula, for my gem placement, but you saw when I did the seashells that it's a little bit stringy, but this one is less stringy. So I'm curious on like how that compares for gem placement than the crazy top coat. But anyway, I placed that small dollop at the center cuticle area of my nail. And so now I'm going ahead and placing these little gems. So I'm just going to do three little gems in like a triangle form. And because I didn't want to go too crazy. I just wanted to make sure that those lines weren't like abruptly stopped at a cuticle area. So they're kind of tying into those gems. So I'm just going to kind of move them around, make sure they have the placement that I want them. And then once I'm happy with the way they're placed, I'm going to go ahead and give them a full cure for 60 seconds. For my ring finger, I'm going to create a 3D starfish, which I've never done before. So we're going to learn together. But I'm going to start with drawing a base of the star first. So for that, I'm going to be using this yogurt gel. This is the pure white. I just placed a little bit of that on my palette. And then you know by now, this is my favorite liner brush. This is the Sweetie Nail Supply liner brush number 2. I'm not great at drawing stars. I'm still learning, but I'll show you what I've learned and what sort of worked. So I'm just trying to find the center of my nail, and I'm going to start by drawing an A. And that's pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to draw those two lines that are slanted towards meeting in the center for like the peak of the A. And that's pretty simple. And then once I have those two lines, I'm going to draw a horizontal line through those two slanted lines in the middle. And that creates that A shape. So you can see that here. And then from the point of that horizontal line, I'm going to draw it down slanted towards the end of that A. And then on the other side, I will take from the horizontal line, I will draw the line towards the other point. So I don't know if that made sense at all. That was really hard to explain. But anyway, now that I have the basic outline for my star, I'm going to go ahead and start filling in, but I'm going to also fill it out. So I like to start with a smaller outline and then start making it a little bit larger, which I find easier to do as I'm filling in rather than just starting large, because it's easier to make it larger, but you can't really make it smaller once you have that. So as I'm filling it in, I'm starting to fill out just to make the star a little bit larger. So this probably took much longer than was necessary, but I was trying to be really careful because I didn't want to redo the star. So as I'm building out, I'm getting like some crooked lines. So I it keep just making it gradually larger because I'm trying to straighten out those lines as much as possible. I cured that for a full 60 seconds, and now I'm going to use my Marble Fit base because I am going to do a little bit of that marble gel to create a little bit of shading and some depth to the starfish. Now, I put a little bit of that base on my palette and I'm filling in the star because that's where I wanted the marble to be. But in hindsight, there wouldn't have been any harm if I would have just painted the whole nail with the base rather than going in with a liner brush. But it is what it is. I did what I did and it worked. So I'm just filling in that star with that base. And so when you look at a starfish, it kind of like inverts in the center. So I wanted to create like that shading and that depth. And I thought the marble gels would work really well for this to create that kind of look because I don't want to just be like a flat color. I want to create some of that depth to it. So I've got this tan marble fit gel now that I have the base on, and I'm just going to draw a line down towards the center of all those points of the star. I don't want it to fill in the whole thing. I still want the white borders. I just want it to kind of bloom a little bit and just kind of blur to create that depth. And then once I'm happy with the way that that has kind of spread and bloomed, I'm going to go ahead and cure that for a full 60 seconds. So you can see kind of it just has that little bit of shade to it. And then once it's cured, once again, in order to make my 3D pop a little bit more, it looks best on a matte top coat. So I'm going in with my Divox Zero Matte Top Coat. I'm applying a layer of that to the nail. I will cure that for a full 60 seconds. I'm still very new to 3D nail art and I'm kind of learning what does and doesn't work, trying to figure things out, watching YouTube videos. So if you know of any other ways, please let me know down below in the comments. I would love to do more 3D nail art. But anyway, once I have my top coat cured, I'm going to take my crazy top coat again, and that's what I'm going to use for the 3D. I'm not going to do the entire star. If you look at a starfish, it's bumpy, it's got those dots to it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm taking my dotting tool, I'm picking up a dollop of the crazy top coat, and then at the larger end of the dotting tool, I'm just going to create a dot at the center of the starfish. And then I'm going to flash cure it to make sure that stays in place. And then for the other dots, I'm going to take the smaller end of the dotting tool, and at each of the points of the star, I'm going to draw two smaller dots. And as I draw those two dots in the point, I will flash cure after each point just to make sure that they stay in place. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to do some chroming on my thumb and pinky. So this is my ring finger after I took it out of the lamp. So for my chrome, I do need a no wipe gel top coat. So I have my Doi Basics gel top coat. I'm just going to apply a thin, even layer of that to my thumb and pinky on top of the nudie white. And then once I have the gel top coat on, I'm going to flash cure it. So I find with my lamp and this Doi gel top coat, about 15 seconds is the perfect timing for me for the top coat, but it's really going to depend on the top coat you're using and the lamp. So sometimes you need a little bit longer, sometimes you need a little bit shorter. You just kind of have to play around with it to find what's that perfect timing for a flash cure in order for your chrome to stick. Because if you over cure, your chrome's not going to stick. But if you under cure, it's just going to like ball up and be sticky, and it's not going to work really well and look like that flawless chrome look. So I went ahead and flash cured it. So now I'm going to take this Barbie pink chrome. This is what I bought, the chrome that I bought in my haul. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that with my eyeshadow applicator. And starting with my thumb, I'm just going to start rubbing in that chrome. And you're just going to see just how easily it picks up in chromes, and you can see like that pink shimmer to it, but it does kind of have like that bluish hue as well. So I think it goes really nicely with the, I think it was DM20, the glitter that I have on my middle finger from the Once in a Summer season 2 collection. I think they kind of go really well together. Like my middle finger is the glitter version of the chrome on my thumb and pinky, so it's kind of like a happy accident that they all kind of work together really nicely. So that's how the thumb's looking. I'm going to go ahead and do my pinky as well. So I just pick up a little bit of that chrome. So I did the swatch. I did these two fingers, and you can see like even though it looks like a little bit of powder, a little bit goes a long way. So this jar will last me a really long time. And that's why I think like chrome powders are a really good value, just because you only need a little bit to do that chroming. But after I chrome, I like to make sure that it's well rubbed in. So I'm just going to take this makeup sponge and I'm just going to do one additional pass and just rub that in a little bit more to smooth it over. I don't want to use my finger because at this point the gel is only flash cured, so it's not fully cured. So I don't want to put my skin on uncured gel. So that's why I'm using the makeup sponge. That's what I prefer to use. I could also use like a finger cut or a glove and rub it in with my finger. I just don't want to use my bare skin. But once I have that rubbed in, I'm going to cure it the rest of the way. So I'm putting it back in my lamp, curing it for 60 seconds. And then the last thing I will do to this set, and then I'll be, besides top coat, obviously, is I felt like the middle finger felt a little left out. So I'm going to do some gem placement at the cuticle area of my middle finger. And I'm really new to charm and gem placement, so I'm not really great at it just yet on like figuring out what works best and like where to place things. I have a hard time visualizing it, so I like to physically see and kind of map out what I want to do. So I'm just picking out the charms that I want to use. This one right here is from iGel Beauty, and it's so cute because they're little silver seashell charms. So I picked out one of the traditional shells and one more of like that conch shell type design. And then I also want to add some little pearls as well. And this is where I know what I want to use. I just don't know like what the right placement is. So I'm going to map it out on the actual nail. So at this point, the charms are just sticking to the tacky layer of the gel polish. I haven't applied anything to it. It's just kind of convenient that it's sticking to the tacky layer. So I'm just kind of placing them, figuring out what looks best where, and then once I have kind of mapped out what I want to do, then I will apply the charm gel and actually apply them to the nails. I went ahead and applied my press-ons off camera, and now I'm going to finish off my mani by rehydrating my cuticles with my Scales of a Mermaid Cuticle Balm. This is a previous limited edition set, Shell Yeah. I thought the theme went really nicely with this nail set, and I just love this as a good like spring, summertime scent. I do also have an affiliate code with Scales of a Mermaid, so anytime you place an order, you can use code Genie10 to save 10% off your orders and support me. Now I'm just going ahead and just rubbing that in everywhere. So I got the balm on my matte nails so they're no longer matte. So all I need to do is take some isopropyl alcohol and a lint-free wipe, and I'm going to wipe off the excess balm on the nails. And then once that alcohol dries, they're going to be matte again. So this works really well. So that finally wraps up today's video. I know it was a bit of a longer one, so if you're still here, drop me a shell emoji down below in the comments, and thank you so much for hanging out. I don't do these longer videos often because they're a lot, but I had so much fun doing this. Not only am I so excited about all the new amazing products I got, I am obsessed with this set. I think it's probably my favorite nail set that I've done in quite a while. So I hope this video was helpful and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this. And it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.